Hey everyone, so I'm going to show you how to make a coil vessel. On the throwing on the wheel right now, we're just starting the and last of the beginning forms, which is a bottle form, which means it has more than one change of direction. So it might come out like this and come in, could come out like this, then come in, and then go out like that. It can go in like this and then out like that. I mean, any two directions. This has more than one change of direction in it. And I thought we would do a hand building project of making a vessel or a vase type bottle form as well. And because we'll be doing hand building and because I'm going to show you how to do coil method, you can go really big. So I'm hoping you can go like 2, maybe even 3 feet tall with this project. So I wanted to show you just the basics of how to do the technique with coil. Coil builds a little slower than other hand building techniques, but it's very strong. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. First thing you need is a base to work on, and you don't need to coil that up. Just get a ball of clay, and depending how big you want the base of the vase, you can go big or small. I'd probably start a little bit smaller, like about, I don't know, about that much round, and then build out from there. But I'll show you how to move the coils and stuff. Anyway, the base. You don't have to coil it. You can just go count it out if you want, or if you have a rolling pin, you can roll it out a little bit. Probably want it round. You can just hand smash it. And you want it to be about the same thickness as your coils. So you want to think about that a little bit ahead of time. I would err on the side, since you're going big, I would err on the sides and on the side of making your coils thicker than you need to, because it will just be stronger. It doesn't have to be a round vase. It could be an oval vase. If you looked at it from a aerial view, it doesn't have to be just round. It could be oval. It could even be square. It could be. But anyway, so make your base according to the shape that you maybe want your pot. So I'm just going to go start round and be very traditional with this. So there's a round. Start. Now the coils themselves, that's how we form the walls. So what I do for a coil is I get some clay out, and then I start just squeezing it into the general shape of a coil of snake. Another word for a coil is a snake, I guess. So I'm just getting in the ballpark here. Okay, so I have that kind of shape. Now from here, I can start rolling it out. I start in the middle. My hands are like this. I should show you some of the problems. Sometimes people will push too hard, look like this, and then they'll get, it starts going flat and it's all funky and like that. What you want to do is you don't want to roll too hard, but hard enough, so it stays round. If it feels like it's getting kind of oblong, it will start sounding like a flat tire, like thud, 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 thud. Let me get a flat, I'll show you. Starts sounding like a thud, like thud, thud. That means it's gone oblong. So if it goes oblong, I just stop it, get it kind of square, and then I just gently roll over the corners, and then I go into it. Notice I'm giving myself a good, I don't know, 1.5 feet, 2 feet to roll my coil out. So I'm not swaying, I'm really going into it. Yeah. I start in the middle, I go out the sides. I spend time where it feels a little bit thicker. Now if you want, you could roll out a bunch of coils ahead of time, cover them in plastic, and then just start building. I'm just going to make mine one at a time for right now. This feels nice and round, not oblong at all. My clay is a little bit firmer, that's why it's taking me a little longer to roll this out, but that's okay. No problem. By the way, if you're taking your clay directly out of the bag, and the clay's pretty fresh, you haven't used it before, you don't really have to wedge it, because coiling kind of wedges it, compresses the clay and all that. Okay, so that's pretty good. And as you can see, this coil is, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch thick, maybe more, I'm not sure. So anyway, now I'm going to put this right on here. And I just put the next coil on top of that. Now I have a caveat to that a little bit later. But let me roll another coil out, and I can start playing with this a little bit and show you how to shape things and all that. So, how to move the coils. So again, squeeze out. Normally I'd start attaching the coils, but I'm going to show you a few things first before I attach things. Okay. This might be kind of thick. I'll split it in half. Thought I heard some trick-or-treaters coming up the steps. Keep an ear out for them. Half expecting them. It's Halloween. Okay, so I have some coils to play with now. What I wanted to show you now that I have some more coils is if I want my coils to move, let's say if I want my pot to come out like this, what I do is on each successive time around, I put it on the outside part of the last coil. And you'll see that this moves out pretty quick. So you can see how it goes out. I'll do one more, just make it very graphic. So that's how I move it out. If I want to move the coils in, I want them to go in, I do just the opposite. I'll put it here, put it on the inside. Oops, sorry. Inside. Inside. And you can see how it's starting to go in now. That's how I move the coils out. That's how I make volume and how I make it come back in. Now, having shown you all this, don't do what I just did in terms of like just piling it on top of each other. Clay may stick to itself now when it's wet. When it gets dry, this whole thing will fall apart. So what I need to do is I need to start, after I do it every 3 layers. I never go up any higher because it gets too wobbly. Every 3 layers I'll start going in here and I'll start joining the clay together, just like butter, just like spreading butter. And you can use your thumb. I use my thumb. I also use the tongue depressor side of the wood knife tool that you use to cut pots off, the extra clay off of pots on the wheel. That wood knife. The tongue depressor side looks like a popsicle stick. You can use that and get it in here and smooth the stuff together. Now, I also, let me do one more, no, I want to save these for, well, no, let's go ahead and talk. I could leave my coils exposed on the outside for part of the decoration. I'll get to more of that later. Or, if I really want more strength, I usually am not into the coil decoration, but some people are, and there's no judgment on that at all. They're very beautiful. There's really beautiful examples of coil decorations. But anyway, I'm going to go on the outside and work it all together as well, just for strength. Now, let's see here. Unfortunately, I don't have a rib here at home. What I would do is I have all these finger marks in here. I suppose I could leave that as sort of a texture. But what I would do is probably go over this with, do I have something I can use here? Let's see. I may not. I'll just use the bottom of this. Let's pretend this is your wood rib or your metal rib. You could go over it with something and then smooth this out. Get your fingerprints out of there and make it look kind of nice and really smooth. You can really smooth it out and look like it's just, almost like it's thrown on the wheel or something, okay? But anyway, you can smooth that in. That's working the coils in. And you have to work them in, either on the inside or on the outside or both. Some people like to make a design on the inside. You just have the coil like a beehive shown in the inside. It's beautiful. Okay, let's say you want to do some decorative stuff with coils and leave them exposed. Well, a couple things. One is if you want to have nice, even rows of coil going straight up, not at angles at all, what you want to do is do 1 row at a time. So what I'll do is go 1 row, I'll overlap it like this, but then I'll cut it off at an angle because it has more area to join together. I'll take off the excess clay there, take off the excess clay here, Put that there, work this together. Now the next coil, I'll do the same thing. I'll move it out maybe a little bit, make it a little bigger. And I come over and I overlap it again. Take off the excess clay. Okay, work that in. And I can work this in. But as you can see, now I have very parallel lines going all the way up. That's how you want to, if you want to have your coils just perfect like that going up, do that. One level at a time. And then every 3 levels, you want to join them together. If that doesn't matter so much, you can do like I was doing. Just, let me make it 2 more coils so I can play here for you. So it doesn't hurt you to watch me make coils again, I hope. One thing about moving your coils out the volume and in is you don't want to be going really severe like this, because coil is not like to go horizontal. What will happen is if you go out like this, well, you can do it up to a degree, but then if you put more coils on top of that, it's gonna collapse. Unless you put like kickstands under it until it dries and then take them out. But in general, don't go horizontal. Have your changes of direction be kind of smooth, sort of more gradual like that, rather than anything. You can do dramatic at the very top of the pot. So let's say I get up here. I can come severe like this because there's not going to be more weight. There's not going to be any weight going down on it. I hope that makes sense. So at the top you can do that. But on the way up you can't. Okay, like I was saying, if you don't care about going even all the way up, you can go like this, have it go over the top of the next one. As you can see, so you'll have some irregularities, and then we'll start going at little angles like that. That's fine. It can look nice. It depends on what you want, the look you want. If you want to make some designs in the coils as you go up, you can build them in sections. It's almost like a prefab house. So let's say if I have, I'll do a couple sections like that. Roll one more coil. And we're almost there, almost at home stretch here. By the way, on the assignment for the vases in Canvas, I gave a bunch of examples. I have one that shows different kinds of profiles of different kinds of bottle forms. And you can look at that and see if one of those appeals to you, and you can use that as sort of a template to make your pot. But I would know ahead of time what kind of pot you want to make. Again, you're going 2 to 3 feet tall. Start in the middle, you still have plenty of room to coil. You'll get really good at these by the end of this project. They'll be kind of funky at the beginning. Okay, like I was saying, you can make certain prefab walls. So I'm gonna do one curly Q like a snail. Okay. Now on this side, that'll be facing in probably, I'm gonna go ahead and smush the coil together so it doesn't fall apart. And then I'll have this side facing out. I'll do maybe a Charlie Brown zigzag thing here. It's like on Charlie Brown's shirt. If you guys know Charlie Brown, I don't know. He's getting to be old-fashioned. Work it together on this side. Okay, now I have another wall here. And I can put this on here, and I'll work it in. Remember, you got to work it in to make it stick. Same with this guy. I'll leave him here. Let's see. I'll maybe go like that. That'd be better. And I may have to add extra clay in here too. I'll show you. So I'm working it up here, working it down, so it's nice and smooth inside. I'll work the walls, these 2 segments together. I might need some extra clay, like I got a hole here. Well, I could leave the hole there if I wanted, or I could fill in and I could just put clay on the inside. I just put a plug of clay and I've just worked it in right there. Okay. If it feels kind of weak, you can just add a little more clay on the inside. Wherever it feels weak. Notice I'm supporting it as I'm pushing. Okay. Anyway, so this is another way that I can leave the decoration of the coils exposed on the outside. Again, I've got to work it together on the inside. Okay? And let's say on this side, let's say I just want to do that. and then I want to just, fill this up with regular coils, well, I can do that. And I'll just go back and forth. We'll see in a second. By the way, your pots don't have to be symmetrical too. Let's say if I want this to start coming out like this here, but go straight up over here, I can do that. I can move it out this way and have it straight here. You can do anything you want, really. But you might want a traditional pot. I'm thinking you might want that. So anyway, on this one, I'm going to fill it up now, and I'll just double back on it. Maybe I don't want these coils to show, so I can work them in. So, but this is like, this is how it looks right now. I could work it on the inside and have it just like that, and this is what the whole profile looks like. Or I can work them in. I'd probably work it on the inside too, just for strength. Make it look nice with that, if it had a rib. Credit cards work well too for this, or a CD. Remember those CDs? Okay, so now I have it. So I have it. Oops, I didn't join it there. I should join it on the inside here. Anyway, so now I have it. So it's smooth here, and I have these coils jumping out here. Or I can just, I could have little snails showing here and here and here, and have everything else smoothed in. Anyway, so that's how that works. Just as a reminder, to make the changes in direction, because that's kind of one of the main criteria to be able to make it come out, go back in, depending on what direction you want it to go, you put your coil on the outside part of the last coil, or you put it on the inside part of the last coil if you want it to go in. Outside, inside. Gradual, okay, and go big. You can start small, go big. Come like that. You can make just a big beehive coconut thing like that with a small little opening. That could be beautiful. If you're going, it builds slow enough that it should kind of dry out a little bit as you're working on it. I mean, this part, let's say I'm going big, this bottom part here will start setting out as I keep going up here. But if it's too wet and it starts collapsing on you, then you need to let this part down here set up a little bit. So let it air dry for a little bit. You might have to score. Let's say you leave this alone. I'm going to give you a couple weeks to work on this. So you need plastic. Cover it up in plastic between sessions. It will take you a number of sessions to make this, I'm thinking. So cover it in plastic in between. You might even want to spray it a little bit, or put wet paper towel just on the top inch, just to keep that pliable. If it feels like this layer, before I build on this next day or whatever, if this starts setting up, you'll have to score and slip. So you'll have to rough this up, just like we've done before. Rough it up like you're adding clay, and make a paste out of it, roughing it up like this, right? Put water on it, turn the paste, do it again, and then you can add your coil on that and work it in. And I think that pretty much does it. Zoom me, email me if you have questions, and this should be pretty fun. Make sure you have a lot of clay and plastic, and yeah, you're ready to go. Good place to work. Thanks.